Consumer decision-making process assignment 2. Today we'll be talking about the Apple iPhone 7 Plus 128 gig and also how Apple uses the consumer decision-making process to market this product. Today our researchers and presenters are Veronica, Jess, myself Jordan, Angus and Nick. Firstly, start off with the consumer decision-making process. As marketers, we understand that there are 5 steps to which represents a general process that moves the consumers from recognition of a product or service need to the final evaluation of the purchase. As consumer behaviours are changing every day, it is important that we outline a proper marketing mix for a well-defined market. At the end of our presentation, we hope that you will have a full understanding of the CDMP and how it can successfully market a product directly to your target demographic. About the iPhone 7 Plus. The iPhone 7 Plus is roughly Apple's 12th installment in their line of mobile devices. It is currently being marketed by Apple as an immersive mobile experience with the best performance in stereo, retina display screen, camera, battery life. It comes in 6 different colours: the rose gold, silver, black, and jet black, and the new red. It comes in 3 different memory capacities. It comes in 3 different memory capacities: 32 gig, 128, and 256. Today we'll be focusing on the 128 gig.
We'll be running through the consumer decision-making process. First step being need recognition, second being information search, third being evaluation of alternatives, fourth purchase decision, fifth post-purchase. Then to the conclusion and our recommendations. Okay, I'll be running through the first step, need recognition. Why do consumers need this product? Well, needs can be triggered by internal or external stimuli, making the product decide for actual needs or a luxury. The consumer purchasing the iPhone 7 Plus are purchasing it to fulfill a need. This can be because they want to upgrade their phone, dissatisfaction with their current product, new trends and features, and many more factors. What may trigger a consumer to purchase this product? The superior features are a major contributing factor to the consumer wanting to purchase this product. There are at least 3 other main factors, such as new trends. New generations released every year may trigger the consumer to purchase the iPhone 7 Plus to keep up with the trends. Another being dissatisfaction of their current product, may be out of date and not as superior as iPhone 7 Plus's premium features. Lastly, change of circumstance. The consumer may want to utilize their travel time to work or even uni, and the iPhone 7 Plus has the correct features to do so. What actual problem is the consumer facing? They may not be up to date with the newest generation of iPhones and may want to also fulfill the luxury and perhaps business desire. The current iPhone may run slow, or maybe not the iPhone, maybe Samsung, and may not perform the jobs that the iPhone 7 Plus does. The current phone the consumer owns may be too heavy, brick-like like the iPhone 4, and not suitable for the daily life of the consumer anymore.
What processes will consumers go through to search for information? First of all, consumers will normally start off with an internal search. Consumers, after identifying that they need or require the product, they will then seek current or previous knowledge that is stored in his or her memory regarding to smartphones and other current brands like Samsung or HTC, and then Apple as well. The consumer would then reflect on the, if any, past experiences with Apple as a company or solely the product of the iPhone. Perhaps the consumer has owned a previous iPhone and is a returning customer or is looking for a new smartphone altogether, so maybe switching brands from, say, Samsung to Apple. After an internal search, the consumer would normally start to search externally. So these can be broken down into 2 very simple steps. First is a non-marketing search. This is normally the search which is used the most and can affect the consumer the most. This is when the consumer would gather information from unofficial reviews, such as small websites, or from friends or colleagues about the iPhone. Secondly, there is the marketing approach. This source is directly affiliated with marketers and companies. The consumer's opinion of the iPhone can affect how well professional advertisement can be. So if you have a bad influence with an iPhone, then the advertisements will not be as effective as they normally would be. What information would the consumer obtain from this search? So the advantages, according to Apple, for a smartphone, the iPhone 7 Plus has a massive Retina HD display screen of 5.5 inches squared, or 13.97 centimeters squared, which is quite a large screen for a smartphone of today. It's got a multi-touch display, so it can allow for multiple keystrokes on the screen. It's also splash and waterproof, water resistant, up to 1 meter for 30 minutes. Several people have actually tested this on YouTube, and has actually exceeded the 30-minute period by about 4 minutes, and the iPhone has still worked marginally well. The current processor in the Apple is the M10, which far exceeds the capabilities of an M9 or any previous processor that Apple has created. Currently, the iPhone 7 actually has the best camera on the market, so about 12 megapixels, which allows for high quality HDR photos and 4K resolution video recording. Apple also guarantees a 1-year warranty on any standard malfunctions on the phone. This doesn't include water damage though. The disadvantages, according to Quick Fever, which is a review website for many electronic devices. The Apple iPhone 7 Plus actually doesn't have a 3.5mm headphone jack. So much like one of our presenters, Jordan, he's actually lost both of his headphone pieces, so now he can no longer use the iPhone to listen to music unless he buys another pair of earpods. The price of an iPhone 7 in a 128 gig is actually $1,569 outright. This is according to Vodafone, and for a 24-month contract is around $2,800, which is a fairly large sum when it comes to buying a phone. On the iPhone 7 as well, there's no sign of wireless charging, much like a Samsung S7 or a HTC, which will actually support a wireless charging pad. And then lastly, just on a personal note, unlike many Android smartphones, there's no USB Type-C, which is commonly known as a micro USB, so you can use your phone as like a portable hard drive almost. What changes do we recommend for the iPhone 7 Plus? Well, we believe that the 3.5mm headphone jack should be returned. This is a normal requirement for pretty much any electronic device nowadays. A switch to USB Type-C or micro USB instead of a lightning cable, which means that more people have the same charger. Just like in Android, people can share chargers between each other. And also the removal of the Apple Sync function, which pretty much wipes the device and syncs everything back on, unlike an Android, which allows for quick and easy data transfer of like quick and drag over a computer screen.
When going through the buying process, the consumer is more often than not going to consider alternative brands. Some of the biggest competitors for the iPhone are other smartphones such as the Samsung Galaxy S7 or the HTC 10. Information collected from both memory and external sources causes the consumer to narrow down alternatives. Customers use external sources such as friends, websites, or review sites to make the decision. The consumer narrows down their list into something called an evoked set. This is the number of products and brands considered by the customer. Customers may narrow down their alternatives by focusing on specific features of the product and comparing them. When it comes to the iPhone 7, features such as a larger screen and higher camera quality are going to be higher on the customer's evoked set. When choosing a new phone, customers may consider camera quality, price, storage, battery life, size and design, and screen size. Alternatives by focusing on specific features such as price and screen size. When choosing a new phone, you may consider camera quality, storage space, battery life, design, and screen size. Another way to evaluate possible alternatives is to use cutoffs. This process involves establishing the minimum or maximum levels of an attribute that an option must have to be considered further.
For many customers, price is a common cut-off, as many consumers are not prepared to pay a high amount of money for something that is only going to last them a certain amount of years. The iPhone 7 Plus has a large storage capacity compared to other phones on the market. So for an individual customer, this becomes an option to be considered further. Some attributes that customers may consider are good battery life, high camera quality, size, weight, screen size, speed, water resistance, and some cut-offs that customers may consider are price. Most don't want to pay $1,500, which is the price of an iPhone 7 Plus. And the battery life must be longer than 5 hours for most customers, and most want a minimum storage capacity of 128 gigabytes. Right. This here is a table comparing some of the different options for consumers looking to buy a new smartphone.
As the consumer has gathered all necessary information previously mentioned, they are ready to buy the iPhone 7. This leads to the fourth step of the consumer decision-making process, the purchase decision. At this stage, the consumer has made a logical decision to invest in an Apple product based on the recognition, information, and evaluation of alternatives. And even though the iPhone 7 retails price starts from about $1,000, the consumer knows that they're getting the benefits of having a water-resistant 12-megapixel camera, image stabilization, retina display screen, as well as one of the most powerful chips in the smartphone ever. Johnny Ive himself says that the iPhone 7 is the most deliberate evolution of the original founding design. Apple is a worldwide recognized and trusted brand with loyal and dedicated consumers who will line up overnight to get a hold of the latest iPhone 7. Apple's marketing campaigns are extremely successful, and the consumer will buy an iPhone without a second thought based on the brand reputation, the status, and fashionable aspects. Apple has built their reputation on technological innovation and customer service. Through the marketing mix and the 4 Ps, Apple has positioned themselves to the consumer that you're not simply buying an iPhone 7, but rather a lifestyle. For the actual promotion of the iPhone 7 Plus, it is available for consumers to purchase in-store at any authorized Apple reseller. For example, JB Hi-Fi, Harvey Norman, in an actual Apple store itself. It's also available to buy online through the Apple website and a few other reseller websites as well for a slightly cheaper price. The convenience of buying online means that they can have the product sent directly to their door. The only potential negative factors is that the Apple Store sometimes is so busy that staff do find themselves cutting up their time a bit unevenly between consumers, not giving them perfect advice or information. The website itself can also appear convoluted and a bit tricky sometimes if you're a newcomer to Apple products. This can be a bit overwhelming sometimes.
Step 5 of the consumer decision-making process is the final step. So after all the steps have been covered, the consumer makes an evaluation of whether the product has met their needs and has satisfied them in the end. This has an impact on if the consumer continues to support the brand and come back to the brand in the future. So some reasons why the consumer may be satisfied with the iPhone 7 Plus. 128 gigabytes is because of iTunes. iTunes is a program that allows you to connect your device to your computer and it can act as a media library from where you can download apps, music, access the App Store and download movies, all those things. It also is a way for, if consumers feel like it, they can safely have their files from their phone backed up on their computer, so that if they get a new phone down the track, they can change it over from one iPhone to the other. The next thing is that Apple have actual walk-in retail stores. In these retail stores, they offer workshops for each individual person because some people are not as attuned to technology as others, particularly the older generations. Also, they have customer service in the form of geniuses who are knowledgeable people of the product. With this, you can actually book reservation spots to come in and see the geniuses and have them, go through your problems. For example, if you need to reset your password, retrieve your password on your accounts. So this sort of plays the individual factor of the circumstances that each individual customer might go through in terms of the problems they have with the product. However, there is a big reason consumers may be unsatisfied with the product, and this is the lack of expandable storage in the form of SD cards. Certain features on the iPhone allow you to take quick, easy photos and videos. And with the culture today, people tend to like to take a lot of them. And with the upgrade they've made with the cameras and the 4K resolution video recording, this space of 128 gigabyte, which may seem like a lot, can very quickly be used up. So if the consumers do not have a form of expandable storage, they cannot utilise these features to the fullest. So changes that can be made to the iPhone 7 could be the implementation of micro SD card slots to ensure that the consumer can take full advantage of the features. So in conclusion, this whole presentation, the consumer decision making process can make or break a product on the market, and all factors that impact the consumer throughout this process should be considered by marketers of the brand. Features of the iPhone 7 Plus 128 gigabyte, including the brand and its customer care, should consider every step of the consumer decision making process and the factors that affect the consumer at each and every step. So some recommendations we've made for the product for the iPhone 7 Plus 128 gigabytes. In step 2 of the process, we said we can bring back the 3.5mm headphone jack, switch to a USB Type-C connection or micro USB, or ease of charging, ease of access to charging cables and data transfer. Earpods could be an optional product as opposed to a compulsory thing, and the removal of the Apple Sync option. At step 4 of the process, our recommendations are simplification of the website, navigation so information on products can be easily accessed, a website that is more friendly to newcomers of the brand. At step 5 of the process, our recommendations are the addition of expandable storage in the form of micro SD cards, so that consumers can take full advantage of all the features in the phone. Thank you.